welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a completely different type of video, just an ad hoc troubleshooting session. I have implemented the same Kibana Elasticsearch Syslog-ng stack at my home as my home monitoring system, or the home SIEM. And I figured that something's changed and my router logs aren't being parsed as they were supposed to be. And so I'm trying to figure out what went wrong, just troubleshooting and hopefully fix the problem. Let me know if you guys enjoy this video or not. That way, I can figure out if I should be creating more of these types of videos or should I not do that. I spend a lot of time in my home lab. I build things, I break things, I always test new things out. So if you guys are interested, I will be more than happy to record some of those sessions while I work on new things, research or break fixing. Anyways, this is my home router. It's just the Netgear R8000 with the Advanced Tomato installed on it. On the Advanced Tomato here in the administration logging section, I have my host or IP for the Syslog, my Syslog server IP address configured. So all the logs get sent to the Syslog server. I am inside the Syslog server here. If you look at this, it's running on a Docker container. I have the Syslog server, and the logs are then being forwarded to the Elasticsearch, and I'm visualizing the data with Kibana. If you look at this log has this, actually, this is just the traffic log. I want to be able to, or I was at some point parsing these, source IPs, destination IPs, the source port, destination port. That way I was able to create a nice, Grafana visualization of what kind of data is moving around in my network, right? What kind of data is going outbound to the internet? What is talking mostly to the internet? What ports? So it was kind of nice to have that, 1,000-foot view of my home traffic. I don't know when, but it seems like it has stopped working. I don't remember changing much. But anyways, today I'm just trying to figure out what the problem here is, work on the Patterndb Parser, and hopefully fix this problem. So let's get started. Here's my, not here, or we could just, So this is my router. These are the traffic that are being logged here. That is also being sent to the Syslog server. This is my Syslog server. I've already copied the logs, sample logs here, and I created a one.log file that has just one single log so that it's easy to troubleshoot. Then I have my Patterndb parser here, DDWRT.xml, that has, this was created using the Patternize. I believe I've shown you guys how to use that PDB tool in one of my previous videos. If not, just let me know and I'll create a video on how to create this file. And I have pretty much this, this is the sample log that I've been trying to parse out. Everything looks good at a glance. So I don't know what's wrong. We're gonna work on it and we will try to fix it. In order to even start troubleshooting, let's make sure, or let's check if our parser is actually working or not, right? So in order to do that, we'll use the PDB tool. PDB tool match the one.log file against the parser DDWRT.xml. So as you can see there, we see the host gets parsed, the message is full block, the program and stuff like that, but we were not able to parse out any of these variables or the metadata that we're interested in. So let's go ahead and open that. Or what, let's just open, I'm going to cat this file, copy this over to here. So this is the XML file. Let me go ahead and disable word wrap. It's not that hard. We're looking at, this is the test sample message that this parser is defined for, right? So we have the kernel colon and then space, which looks good. And then we have the string. We're defining this except is the string, and we're parsing that out to action field. And then we have the in BR0. This is not the greatest of the parser because, if in my case, this BR0 is always BR0, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, it should be parsed out into a parameter called, or the key, maybe like interface or something like that, right? In interface or the, ingress interface. And then out is the egress interface, VLAN 2 in this case. I've just have this fix, I guess. The source IP is being parsed into LAN IP. It's of the type IPv4. The destination is dest IP parsed into dest IP, the IPv4 type. The len equals number, that's the length. TOS, we have the number on the TOS as well. That could be a problem because it doesn't look like a number. It could be a string, maybe, I don't know, hexadecimal. But the prec number looks, just making sure we've covered everything here, right? So the prec equals, TTL equals, that's a number as well. ID equals, and then we have df here, which is being, like we have created a string variable, but we're not extracting that to anything because I don't necessarily know what that df is, and I'm not using it, so I'm not parsing it out to anything. Proto seems good. That's being parsed into protocol. The source port is number and is being parsed out to S port. The DPT 995, that's the port number. Sequence ACK is the number being parsed out to ACK flag. And then we have the window. Then we have the reset flag. Okay, so that's the reset flag. And then we have the SYN urgent flag, and the rest of everything we are parsing out to this any string means that, anything after that, right? So it'll match anything until the end of the line. So it really looks all right to me, but obviously it's not working, correct? So the way I like to troubleshoot this issue is I just copy this here and put it here, save here. And what we will do is we will just do this part, right? So what we are doing basically is we're just passing the action and then everything else into a variable. That way, we're just going to rule out what the problem may be here. Now, go back to the DDWRT.xml in the pattern. I'm going to paste that. Okay, let's run the patterndb here, and it did not work, did it? Nope. All right, so that didn't work. What happens if we said this? Nothing, so that didn't work either. Maybe the kernel is probably not the part of the log. Something different. Let me just do this. So what I'm going to do is any at, and then what we will do is, let me reference that. So it's going to be string, and then we'll say action at, and we'll say any string after that. Okay, so the action got parsed out, right? So the action got parsed out into, the except got parsed out into the action. So I feel like at some point it may have changed. Maybe I updated the firmware or something like that. This kernel is apparently not the part of the message, and it just becomes, if you look at here, it just, is the program. So anything after that is the actual log message. So hopefully it is as simple as it sounds. What we are going to do is we're just going to remove this, right? copy the entire thing, replace it here, and then let's try it. Ooh, look at that. Everything is now parsed, right? So I have the accent, I have the LAN IP, I have the dest IP, I have length, everything is parsed beautifully into different tags. So LAN IP, I'm just thinking, should I change the LAN IP to source IP? I don't know. I'll just leave it to LAN IP, but you can always, change it to parse into anything, right? All right, so that looks good to us. So we have the working parser. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, go back to so this is running in a container. What I'm going to do is docker ps. If you look, these are the containers. Let me go back to, so I'm going to say, okay. So here's my Docker Compose. You can find this in my GitHub. I will put the link in the description if you want to run that as well. So here in the Syslog-ng, I have the syslog docker file. Okay, all right, never mind. So I was just making some changes to the way it's working. Here in the Patterndb directory, I have the DDWRT parser. I am going to paste that. Save it. And now because it's a Docker container, I was actually working on mounting this volume, like these files, so that I didn't have to respawn or take down the entire application and rerun it. But I was in the middle of that. I will probably fix it sometime soon. But for now, we have updated that, so let me go ahead and compose stop. I just haven't gotten time to fix this. So for now, it is what it is. I will just restart that, and I'm going to do docker compose. Oops, docker compose up -d, and hopefully it will load with the new parser. We will do is we will go into the docker exec -it, this docker, and I'm just going to log into it real quick. Etsy syslog-ng patterndb. Just validate that the file is updated. As you can see, there is no kernel, so it's updated, and hopefully now we should be able to see the messages. Okay, well, it's going to take a little bit of time, just the Kibana and the Elasticsearch to start up. Let me see if this has loaded. I'm just replacing the Kibana. Hopefully it's running now. Or maybe not yet. Make sure nothing went crazy. Docker ps. Oops, I'm inside the Docker ps. Looks like everything is running fine. So it's just taking the time to reload. All right, maybe not. Let me log into Docker logs -f, and so what's going on? Maybe the Elasticsearch is not running quite yet. Let's look at Elasticsearch. Docker logs. All shards failed. Okay, because we changed the schema, I think. Let's find out. Oh, well, looks like it started now. So now if we look, not this log, but let's see if we have any logs from here. To make sure I have this saved. All right, so you should see It's not seeing the router logs yet. Give it some time. Doesn't look like we have anything yet. Let's go to the manage index pattern, and we are going to refresh index pattern. Before that, let me check. There's 26. There's 26. Discover. That's right. So I'm not seeing any of the parsed items here. So that doesn't seem to be working. Let me just want the program kernel, because that's what we have in our logs. So it does not look like it worked. All right, going back to check what may have happened. All right, so let me go to the Syslog-ng. Make sure we have the right parendb.d, DDWRT.xml. Remove that, and we validated that it was working. TMP. Okay. It does seem to work. All right, so I also have a copy var log syslog. Let me clear the screen. ls var log syslog-ng, and then kernel. So there are some logs there. The logs are actually, I'm keeping a copy just to troubleshoot. And this is what the log looks like, right? So let's go ahead and try to, let me copy this guy, pdb tool, ddwrt.xml, no, oops, minus F, I think, yeah, pdb tool match, and then F, this guy against ddwrt.xml. It does look like it is working. Let me go ahead and parse it against the actual, let's see, ddw, oops, sorry, Syslog-ng, and then parendb, ddwrt.xml. It does seem to be working. So for some reason, it is possible that I didn't pay a lot attention if our dockers were just like, did it reload or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stack, and I'm going to rebuild so I'm going to say build. This way, I'm certain that the syslog has loaded that pattern parser. I need to fix the, I need to make sure that I can just mount the volume and be able to just, apply the change and reload the config or reload the Syslog-ng process without having to take the full stack down. Now, let's see. I mean, it does look like everything started. But let's see if this loads yet. Set that. Probably be a while, but while the Elasticsearch loads and Kibana loads, it's probably failing on the SARS again, and it's trying to fix it. I'm on the wrong box. Docker ps and docker logs minus F. Yeah, that's not what I want. I want to change from red to yellow. Okay, so SARS started. So now we should be good. We'll look at that later. All right, so we're here. And I still do not see the message is being parsed. Okay, why is that? So actually, this is not the one that we parsed. We had some crazy number on the log message that we parsed. So that's not the one we parsed. This is the type of message we parsed. So let me see if I can find that. Let me get rid of anything that's, oh, well, maybe just include what is kernel instead of filtering that out. So we now only have that our kernel. And actually, let me just look at the messages. Okay, so this is actually the one that we parsed. So why did it not work? Docker ps, let's go into docker exec -it. This is something, oops, bin as such, /tmp. Okay, I'm going to say 2.log. You know what? No, I'm going to say copy 1.log and make it 2.log, 2.log. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that log there. I wonder if it's some kind of space-related, funky space-related thing. All right, so pdb tool match -f. The file is 2.log against DDWRT.xml. Ooh, okay, that's not working. Looks like my BR0 here, that's also changed. So now, if you look, it's going out of BR1. So I guess that's a different traffic. All right, so I think I know what it is now. So we'll go out here. We'll go into the Syslog-ng pattern. Oh, well, let's make sure before we do that. So I'll go to TMP, BI 2.log. We have the BR1, right? So what we'll do is DDWRT.xml. So for that, what we are going to do is we're going to parse that out. So just fix it instead of just not fixing it. At string, it's going to be string. We will say interface. And then, oh, well, you know what? I don't know. What do we want to name it? In interface and out interface, maybe? Okay. We'll just say that. And out is out underscore interface. Oops, sorry. I need to put this string in here. And for the string, it's going to be string out interface and that. So while we're fixing it, let's just see if there's anything else that could be variable. I think it's good. So, I mean, you know, depending on what kind of router you have, you can just, you know, just like I showed you here, you can work on the parser, troubleshoot it, and make sure it works. And then you can do the, you know, you can have a same setup like I do. So, okay, we fixed that, and now it's working fine. So, I think what I can do is I could just, like, you know, copy this file in 2 locations, and I can just reload this Syslog-ng also if I wanted to. So, for example, I can copy this to Syslog-ng and then Patterndb, DDWRT.xml. Okay. And I also need to fix this. So this is temporary, right? So I can say kill-all -hub syslog-ng, and I hope it restarted. syslog-ng, syslog-ng.log. Okay. Did it? Should have. All right. You know what we will do is we'll do till all -hub syslog-ng. Okay, it says shutting down. Let me check the date. 1745. So okay, it's not that. So looks like syslog-ng -ng syntax. Okay. Syslog-ng ctl reload. Okay. Well, all right. So there are different ways to reload the config. I hope this did reload. If not, we'll just reboot, or restart the stack. Let's see, patterndb DDWRT.xml. I'll just replace this with the updated parser. Okay. Now, let's find out. Refresh. 1742. I don't think that reloaded the parser. Yep, I don't think so. I could be wrong though. Docker compose down or stop. I think if I do down, it'll just blow up everything and then rebuild everything, which is probably fine too. But compose up as build -d. Okay, Docker yes. Just wait for the shards to start. That was fast. Change from red to yellow. That was fast. Let's see. Okay, service unavailable, so I don't know why. Okay, just restarting. I think that may be from the old one. It's just starting up. Not seeing it too much. So let's see if it is. All right, let me refresh the whole thing. Not yet. Starts failed. Okay, it's still starting up. It takes a while for the Elasticsearch for some reason. All right, so now it looks like the status changed from red to yellow. Should be able to load it now. And I'm still not seeing. And there's one bug here too. I just have to once it is unable to send the logs, and I think I need to change that to, do I have the option to do TCP or UDP here? It's probably because I'm doing TCP somewhere. I'll have to figure that out where it is. All right, so let's see. Not seeing that working. Management index pattern. '26. This is getting a little crazy. Is it not even honoring the file? Wonder if it is even reading that patterndb file. see if there's anything we can find in the log. Docker ps. We'll go into the Syslog-ng docker exec -it. We'll save in assets. I wish I could run this in debug mode, but var log syslog-ng, the syslog-ng here, syslog-ng.log. Nothing much here. Syslog-ng. Do I have the patterndb included? I do. Just want to make sure I'm reading the correct file. Patterndb. Oh God. So I think. Yep. Oh God. I must have made that mistake sometimes, right? I have defined the parser. Let me just make sure that so I just realized that I haven't even called the parser. Oh my God. So before we send it to the destination, all we have to do is parser, and then what's our parser, right? pattern_db. That's what we need to do. In syslog-ng -- syntax -- only, and we'll say syslog-ng -ngctl reload. Okay. Well, I guess, I mean, it is what it is. That's how the troubleshooting situations can be, right? I mean, I thought there was a problem with the parser, but apparently I wasn't even calling the parser. But then we also fixed the parser, so that's all right. I think it's a win. Let's see. I was restarting the thing for no reason. Look at that. All these new dest IP and port, dport, and all that, right? So now I have the ability I can see what destination source are talking. And destination, is that the dest IP? And let me see the LAN IP. So I can now see which IPs are talking to which IPs. I can look at the ports, right? The port and S port. So this is kind of cool too, right? With this data, I can also visualize this. I have a dashboard built on Grafana. Let me just pull that up real quick. So this is my Grafana. I built this dashboard with the data that's being sent from my router to the Elasticsearch, right? So if you look at this, let's say last 15 minutes, I can see 15 minutes is too short of a window. But if I look at the last 6 hours, I can see the bandwidth uses. I can see the Wi-Fi status, how many devices are connected on which Wi-Fi. I can now, with this data, I can now visualize what are the top outbound ports, right? The TCP. I can check the protocol uses. Is there any UDP traffic? Not so much, right? Because we just don't have the data. It wasn't working before. So the parser is not retroactive, so it's only going to parse anything moving forward. So I have the top LAN IP. I can find who's talking the most. I can see what's the top destination. So it kind of helps build that monitoring in your home infrastructure. So right now, this is just my router. I'm planning on expanding this to like each and every devices in my network. So my laptop, for example, would be sending logs to this Elasticsearch. My lab servers, lab machines would be sending logs to this Elasticsearch. And then I can visualize it with the Grafana dashboard. You have the ability to create the playlists. So I actually have a playlist, and if I do the playlist, then it'll just cycle through all the available dashboards. I can play this in a TV mounted in my wall. I mean, you can use it however you want, but this gives the visibility into what's going on in the home network. This was a little bit of a different type of video. I mean, no editing or anything like that. I just this is like a raw, uncut edition of my troubleshooting session. But you saw that I kind of made a mistake of not even calling the parser. I think so. What happened is I think I blew up my container stack, and then when I redid it, I just didn't put the parser in my syslog configuration, and then it stopped working. And I wanted to troubleshoot this, so I guess now we figured it out. We fixed it. Now I have the dashboard to be able to see my top outbound ports, which is cool. I know who's talking the most, who's using the most internet and all that in my network. And then you also got the opportunity to see what kind of SIEM, if you will, I have at my home network. And then, I hope it'll motivate you guys to, do something like that. It's really cool. I like to play with these kind of things. So I hope this video was useful. This was a little bit of different compared to other videos that I've been doing in the past. So let me know if you guys like more of these troubleshooting sessions, and I will, whenever I'm working on something, I will just record it and share with you guys so that, you may learn a thing or two, or you guys give me a feedbacks and, give me hints and stuff that I'm struggling with maybe, and I will learn something from you guys too. I hope this video was useful. Let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.